to 3, where will I park?
Closer.
Yeah, right here. So if I call at 2:45 and Mary answers the phone, and I say, "Hi, American Public Insurance. I'm Lloyd Lotham, American Public Insurance Company. You recently talked to someone about health insurance. Do you have a moment?" Right? If I make my phone call, the reason I'm calling is right. If I do the phone call, and she says I'm not interested, what else might she be saying? And if I don't get there right now, instead of parking here and waiting 5 minutes to pick up my kid, I have to park down here, and I'm going to be 20 minutes getting all the way up here. You go knock on the door. "Hi, my name's Lloyd Lotham, I'm American Public Insurance Company." And what do they hear?
Insurance sale.
Ah, people tend to say things from their frame of reference. People tend to hear things from their frame of reference. Do people buy insurance?
Nope.
What do they buy?
You.
On the slides, what were people's main dominant buying motives?
Security.
So if I'm just doing the walk and talk, the question may be, if I can increase your benefits or lower your cost, would there be any reason not to do a comparison? You see what I'm saying? However you're phrasing, we're going to go through some of the key phrases, but you talked about a car to someone and what ended up happening.
I guess I'm looking at just the introduction itself, to get past that screen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I found if you do it quick, you're in. But if you don't,
If you do it what?
quick,
What does quick mean?
well, within the first 3 or 4 sentences.
Okay.
If
So
you just stand there, you're likely not to get in.
if you just stand there. So let me just see if I understand you correctly. Are you saying that your behavior has something to do with
Well,
your
sometimes I'll
words?
open the door up.
Oh.
You know,
So if
and
I'm-
say it's hot outside.
If I'm at the front door,
I need some lemonade.
if I'm at the front door, what's the goal? What's the end in mind? What do I want them to do?
Get through the door.
So what would I need to do if I want them to open it?
Open the door. Get out of the
Can
way.
so you want to step back. I might want to open the screen door. I might want to make eye contact. "Hi, my name is Lloyd Lotham. I'm American Public Insurance Company. I was out visiting some of my customers in the area, and I want to stop by and introduce myself. May I come in?" See how the behavior is congruent with the words? Now, if they say, "I'm not interested, I've already got insurance," is that abnormal or normal?
That's normal.
Oh, it's normal. So, do you do better when you feel better or when you feel bad? When you feel better? Do you feel better when you win or when you lose? So if you do better when you feel better and you feel better when you win, wouldn't it make sense to always put our prospect in a position of winning? So if they say, "I'm not interested, I've already got insurance," I understand. A lot of my customers felt the same way the first time I talked to them. What I have to present only takes about 15 minutes. If you're still interested, I'll stay. If not, I'll leave. Is that fair? So if I use words that validate and acknowledge what's normal, is it normal for them to not necessarily be interested just because I stop by?
No.
That's not normal, right?
Well, yeah, that is normal.
That would be normal. They would not necessarily say, "Hey, thank God, insurance guy, praise the Lord, you showed up. Can I write you a check?" That's not normal. They're supposed to be busy. And why do customers give us objections more often than not?
To get us to leave.
Huh?
To get us to leave.
Fear of rejection. I mean, they're afraid that you're going to sell them.
Or they may be true. They also may be afraid that they're going to
Buy something.
buy something. My experience is, I'm not saying it's true all the time, my experience is customers tend to give you objections for 2 primary reasons. Number one, it worked before. The last guy that came to the door, knocked on the door, they said, "I'm not interested," and he did what? He turned right left. Or they think they're supposed to give you an objection. Now, let's just go with another analogy. Has anybody bought a new car in the last month or 2? 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years?
5 years.
In 5 years.
Not quite.
Nobody in the room has bought a car in the last 5 years? No wonder the auto industry's going down. All right, Mary, can I pick on you?
Sure.
All right, here's the car lot. Here's the sales office. Here's the cars. It's usually chained in or something. Here's your main street. When you pulled onto the car lot and you got out of the car salesman walked up to you and said, "Can I help you?" Right? Something like that. And what did you say?
I was looking.
Okay, so you guys lie too, right? You know, we talk about being honest and ethical, so let's just get the truth on the table. So you guys lie also, right? Yeah, so you go to a clothing store, department store, the salesman, "Can I help you?" And you say what? Just like, all right. Just as long as we're upfront with each other, we all lie too. So now, you pick a car out, and what's the first thing he has you do?
Drive it.
Is that true, Mary? Why does he want you to test drive the product?
Get
Get in with him.
Huh?
He wants to get in the car with you.
Okay,
Get in your space.
okay.
Because it's a commitment?
Because it's what?
A commitment?
Is that true, Mary?
What did he say?
Did you buy the car you test drove?
Actually, no.
So what car did you buy?
I just bought a Jeep Liberty.
Okay, did you drive the car that you bought?
Uh-uh.
So how did you pick that car out?
Well, because I had previously owned one.
Ah, so you had driven one before.
Yeah.
Have you ever bought a car that you've never driven?
Yeah, actually, I bought 2 cars over the phone.
And why did you buy that car?
Because it was cheap, and I knew the salesperson. I knew the finance guy.
So the two things that I'm hearing you say is that the salesperson had credibility with you,
So, right.
and you were familiar with the product.
Yeah, I did my research prior.
Okay. So if you take a car out for a test drive, have you noticed when you pull the car out, what do they have you do? Which way do they have you turn?
Right?
Yeah, they have you turn right. Why do they have you turn right?
So you don't run into somebody.
Because they want you to engage in behaviors that you're more familiar with, and 80% of the country is right-handed. So they have you make a right-hand turn, a right-hand turn, a right-hand turn, a right-hand turn, a right-hand turn. When you come back in the lot, where do they usually have you park the car at?
By the office.
Huh?
Right in front of the sales office,
Yeah, right here, right? Because where's your car parked?
right there.
Oh, right next to it. Why they want you to park your car next to the car you just test drove? Why they want you to park it next to your car?
So you can
See how crummy yours looks?
So you can see how crappy your car looks, right? And when you get out of the car, what do they have you do? Do they have you walk around the car? So do they open the hood? Any of you guys have that experience? They open the hood, and we stand there shaking our head, pretending we know what the heck they're talking about. Right? Then you go to the back seat. You look in the back seat. They get back to the trunk. They open the trunk up, and what do they tell you? Look how big the trunk is. You can fit what in there?
Dead body.
Dead bodies in there.
5 bodies.
You got a strange life, man. I'm not gonna follow you around. You and I aren't going door to door. That's for darn sure. You're looking for dead bodies. What can you fit in the trunk? Golf clubs can fit in the trunk. Ladies, what did I tell you? Fit in the trunk?
Lots of luggage.
Lots of luggage. Sexist people. I swear to God. Who do they think they are? Shoes and groceries. Yeah. And now, when you get done with all that process, then where do you go?
Sales office.
Why are you going to the sales office? Let me ask you this question. Are you going in the sales office to discuss which car to buy? Or are you going in the sales office to discuss
That car.
how much you're paying for that car? Which one do you do? Would everybody agree with that? Okay, now you know how to sell insurance. Now you know how to get in the door. Because the truth is, we're not talking about which product they buy. We're talking about how much you're paying for that product. And the reason you do the test drive is because what do you do during the test drive? You're driving a $30,000, $40,000 car. And what type of things do you play around with during the test drive?
Radio.
Radio, air conditioner, right? The seat. Yeah. All the things that are going to mechanically make that car run for the next 7 years. We play around with them. Isn't that fun? I'm in Colorado and I get a phone call from my wife. And she says, I just test drove a new car. This was last year. Well, that's interesting. She has a car and I have a car. So, guys, what does that tell me? Yeah, somebody's losing a car, right? So I said, well, that's interesting. Whose car are you thinking about getting rid of? Well, and she said, yeah, yours. I said, oh, okay, so you're going to get rid of my car. Well, what car am I going to get? And what car did she say?
Hers.
Yeah, her car. Yeah, I'm going to get the used car, right? So I get back in town on Friday night, and on Saturday I go and test drive the car. Why did I test drive the car, guys?
Because she said so.
Because I'm the man. Make sure that was the right car and a good deal. So we go in there and I test drive the car. We get in, we pull out of the lot. The salesman's in the back seat. She's in the passenger seat. I'm in the driver's seat. I'm driving. And the salesman says, Lloyd, see that blue button there? Go ahead and push it. So I go, whoosh, and a burst of cold air comes over me. He says, when you come back in town, you're able to adjust the air conditioning on your side of the car to keep it as cool as you want. I say, one of the things my wife and I bicker about, because I'm gone a lot, when I come back and we get in the car, I like it cold. Ladies, can you tell I like the room cold? Yeah, I like it a little bit cooler. And my wife likes it the opposite. She likes it a little warmer. So one of the things we kind of bicker about is what, guys?
Temperature.
Yeah, we're always adjusting the temperature, right? So I look at my wife and said, someone's been talking. Because how does this stranger know this? Then he says to Debbie, she laughs, he laughs. He says to Debbie, see that red button? Push that red button. She goes, whoosh, burst of warm air hits her. She says, when Lloyd comes back in town and you guys are driving around, you won't have to feel irritated at him that the car's too cold because you can keep your side as warm as you want it. I tried to hire the guy. This guy knows features and benefit. Here's the feature, and this is why it's a benefit to you. That makes sense? So guess what we ended up doing? We went back to the dealership, and we went inside, to do what? We'd go inside to decide which car we're going to buy or how much we're going to pay for
That car.
that car. Guess what we ended up doing? About that car. So the way he got in the door is he talked about the benefit. People don't buy insurance, they buy what insurance does. So we sell to the pain. And the pain when we first meet people, in fact, let's talk about this for a second. I'm kind of jumping ahead, but let's talk about this for a second. You make a phone call or you knock on a door. How important is the company to these people?
Not very.
Why not?
Most people.
Are you saying the financial history of American Republic Insurance Company is not important? Are you saying the longevity and stability of our company is not important? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Didn't work at home either. What has to happen? If you, on the phone or in person, if you don't come across as the kind of person that they're willing to let come into their home, what chance do you have of making a sale?
0.
Slim or none, right? Let's say that kind of jumping ahead. So the first thing is they have to be willing to let you in the house or give you an appointment or interview, however you want to call it, right? Would you agree with that? Once you get in the house, if you don't come across as the kind of person that they perceive as to be a knowledgeable, personable, trustworthy, in other words, a what?
Boy Scout.
A what? Professional. Thank you. If you don't come across as someone they see as being a professional, how likely are they to disclose personal history with you and write you a check? Not very likely. Would you agree with that? So it's important that they see you as someone, as a professional, someone that they'll let qualify them. And then, what becomes important to them?
Money, the product, the benefits.
Ah. So at that point, would the company be relevant? Would you agree? Would everybody agree with that? In other words, if they don't see you as the kind of person they're willing to let come in the house, either at the door or on the phone, are you going to make a sale? If they see you as the kind of person they'd be willing to let come in their house, but once you get there, based on their interaction, they don't see you as a professional or someone they would disclose personal health information with, how likely are you to make a sale?
0.
So, at this point, if I told you, you see me as the kind of person you're willing to let come in your house, based on our interaction, you see me as a professional and someone who brings value to the table. Can you put yourself there? Everybody emotionally put yourself there? At that point, I tell you, are you familiar with American Republic? And you would say,
Nope.
no. Okay. I say, are you familiar with American Republic? And you would say what, Fred? Okay, so he said no, so I need you to say what?
Yes.
Okay, good. Good role playing there. So are you familiar with American Republic? Yes. If you remember American Republic, no. Well, let me share with you a few things about the company. American Republic's an older company. We're located in Des Moines, Iowa. We've been in business since 1929. We've only had 3 CEOs and presidents in the history of our company. We're still a mutual company. In fact, we've never been bought, merged, or sold. Would that give you a sense of value of the company's history, stability? In other words, me telling you that, does that reinforce to you how you feel about me?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Well, let's say you see me as the kind of person that you're willing to let come out to the house. And based on the interaction, you see me as someone as of value, in other words, a professional. And I say, well, David, are you familiar with American Republic?
Yes.
Well, let me share with you a few things about the company. We're an older company. We're located in Des Moines, Iowa. We've been in business for 5 years, and we've only had 3 CEO and presidents in the history of our company. In fact, we're still a mutual company. We've never been bought, merged, or sold. Would that change your view?
No.
See, it really doesn't matter which one I say. The truth is, anything I tell you at that point about the company is simply going to make you validate how you feel about me. Go ahead.
What about the, for us people that are in Des Moines anyway, what about the article in the Des Moines Register
And that is?
talking about American Republic?
Okay, well, they're not here, so go ahead.
Okay.
They're not in Des Moines.
Okay. The Des Moines Register put out a paper and it's specifically said American Republic.
And how long ago was that?
And 3 days ago.
Remember, these
Actually,
people, these people don't live here, so they don't have a clue what
Okay,
you're
in
talking
the Des
about.
Moines Register, they put out an article about, the guy's name was Irwin Deek,
Mhm.
94-year-old, that went.
They did a series on long-term care insurance, is what they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And.
They're doing it all week.
He had been in there for 7 years, I think it was, 94 years old, and American Republic denied the claim. That's the way the paper said.
Deny the claim. He said, yeah.
Denied the claim. And then, of course, they went on to say, we tried to contact American Republic and there was no comment. Then, yesterday, I called this one gal and she said, have you seen the thing about American Republic in the paper? And I was supposed to have an appointment with her. Well, I'm gonna have anyway, but,
Why are you going to have anyway?
I said, that's a good opportunity to talk to you.
Now, wait a minute, I'm confused. There's an article in the paper.
Well, she's kind of
I'm
saying,
hearing you say that
should I
that's
do
kind of
business
big-
with American Republic? And I said,
I'm hearing you say that came across as kind of a negative.
right.
You called someone who
Well,
asked you.
she had made an appointment last week and she had to go to Indiana to see her mother, so she came back.
Okay.
She called me back and then, she said, did you see the thing about American Republic?
And then you're going to end up seeing her anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So why do you think you're seeing her anyway?
Well, I think number one, she kind of wants to know something,
Ah, okay.
and I kind of let that just hang. And number two is her mother is gonna need some care.
Well, let me ask you this question. Would you guys say that a customer or prospect's reaction to an article like that, of having some skepticism, is normal or abnormal?
That's normal.
Oh. So should we treat it as more normal than abnormal?
Yeah.
So what would be the downside of an article like that?
Well, the downside would be coming up to the door and saying, I'm with American Republic, and they say, ooh,
And if they go, well,
get out.
I'm gonna pick on you, okay?
Yeah.
First of all, how many people I should go woo?
Yeah.
See, I'm from California and they do that in San Francisco, but most people in Iowa, they don't go like that.
They go, woo.
So, woo! I'm a pig farmer, man. I'm gonna get my pigs after you, cuz. Stick on them, sweet! Okay, so the truth is they have a reaction to it, right?
Yes,
So should we treat that as more normal than abnormal?
normal.
Okay. I'm gonna answer your question, but have you learned that I kind of go around the fence to answer a question? Okay.
Politicians do that.
Yes, they do.
Avoid the question.
Cha-ching.
Did he insult me?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I'm a husband, so I've learned not to notice those things. Okay, listen. I'm watching the game, right?
Right.
And it's always a big game, or the Super Bowl or something. Now, the first year I was married, here's what happens. Right? We have a big screen TV in our living room, and above the TV we have pictures of our kids on there. So my wife will come in, and it's always, and ladies, I'll pick on the guys in a bit, but it's always 2 minutes before the half, or right at the end of the fourth quarter, and it's, could be the last play. She comes in and stands in front of the TV and dusts the pictures. Okay, now the first time this happened, the first couple of times it happened, our first year of marriage, guys, what did I say to her?
Nothing.
No, it's the first year of marriage.
Told her to move.
Depends how you ever train.
All this macho crap, I know better than that the first year of marriage. First year of marriage, you're like, hey, move, move, move. And women, what did she say? What did the wife say?
Whoa.
First she did the slow turn, right?
What'd you say?
Is the game more important to me? If you love me, you'd what?
Turn the TV off.
Help me
Are
with
you
the-
a woman? Let the women answer, for God's sakes. If you love me, you'd what?
Help me.
Let me finish.
Now, fast forward 22 years later, she comes in, does the picture, and now what do I do? Now you can say it.
I'm not going to.
Damn, when I want him to do it, he won't do it. Now he walks in and I don't say a damn word, right?
That's right.
Why? Because now I've learned that if I make a comment, it creates a conversation, which takes longer.
She's trained you well.
I'm well trained. I know how to go lay by my dish. So I shut up because I know that she'll dust and she'll walk out. And then I know that as soon as there's a break here, I'm going to get up and go do what, guys? Yeah, I'm going to take the trash out because I told her 2 hours ago I'd do that. Now I'm going to actually do that. Okay. So so here's the answer to your question. I'm going to give you a question. All right, you ready? And I want you to tell me what you heard me mean by that question, okay? There's no right or wrong answer, but I'm just going to give the same sentence to everybody. And I'm going to go around the room and just tell me what you heard me mean. Okay, you ready? You ready? Mary, can I start with you first?
Sure.
All right. Cool. You like being picked on, right?
That's okay.
All right. You ready? I did not say she stole the money. What did you hear me mean?
You said you did not say it again, repeat it, please.
I did not say she stole the money.
You're saying that you didn't say that she stole the money, but
Okay.
it's possible.
Okay. Steve, you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do you. You already know this. Gail, you ready?
Okay.
Okay. I did not say she stole the money. What'd you hear me mean?
I hear you say that somebody else said she stole the money,
Ah.
but it was not you.
Okay. Fred, you ready? This means yes. This means no.
Yes.
Okay. I did not say she stole the money. What'd you hear me mean?
You didn't steal it, somebody else did.
Ah, okay. Anthony, you ready? I did not say she stole the money.
It's possible she did, but I'm not saying it.
Oh, okay. Christy, you ready? I did not say she stole the money.
They're saying that it was stolen by someone else.
Okay. David, you ready? I did not say she stole the money.
She may quite possibly have borrowed it.
Oh, all right. You ready? I did not say she stole the money.
She may have stole something, but it wasn't the money.
Ah! Did everybody hear a different meaning with the voice inflection?
Yes.
So if someone comments on the newspaper article, here's what happens. We tend to talk from our frame of reference, and we tend to hear from our frame of reference. If someone comments on the newspaper article, we tend to apply our own definition to it. We tend to assume it. Salespeople tend to sell the way they buy. So for example, if I figure a premium on an HSA or UCME, and in my mind, I either couldn't afford to pay that premium or I think it's too high, I tend to project that issue into my prospect and not do what? Not present the product to them, right?
Just in the product.
Right, exactly. So does that make sense? Just like managers. Managers tend to train the way they sell. So if the way they make appointments is on the phone and you are a walk and talk guy, what are they more likely to want to teach you?
Walk and talk.
If they sell on the phone and you do
Oh,
walk and
they-
talk,
They,
what
they want to say the phone.
yeah, they're more likely to teach you on the
Right.
phone. Does that make sense? So when we go up to the door and a reaction is that, would we treat it as more normal than abnormal?
It should be treated normal.
I would treat it as more normal, absolutely. And the truth is every insurance company going to have articles like that periodically?
Absolutely.
What about automotive shops? Is there going to be news articles about automotive shops that rip you off?
Sears.
Huh?
Sears,
So are you saying yes?
yes.
Okay.
Soon for.
And is there a TV show that actually sets up sexual predators? And is that a popular TV show?
Oh, yeah.
Has everybody seen that? So the truth is every industry is going to have that, right? And the good part about the article, what I think is good about it anyway, is they're doing it over a period of 5 days. So it gives us an opportunity. While it appears to be a negative, it gives us an opportunity to talk about that with people. In fact, my perception is that it tends to open people's mind to want more information. Now, who are they going to be a little bit negative towards or blame at first?
Me.
Oh, of course, you, yeah. People don't say, well, American Republic didn't pay my claim. People don't say American Republic didn't send me my paperwork. They say, you said, right? Just like we use on the prospect you said, they do that with us too. Are they supposed to do that?
Sure.
Yeah, of course. See, we didn't send them a script.
But you could use that as a way to get in the door.
It's free
Say
advertising.
that again?
You could use the negative that the person said to get in the door.
I would agree with everything you said. I would reframe negative.
Well,
we would use their
comment in the
concern.
paper to say to that person, yes, that was in the paper, but let me come in and I'll explain it to you why,
Right.
obviously if you knew why the claim
For example,
wasn't
I might
made.
say, you know, I understand how you feel. The truth is, my mother's 83 years old, and if any company denied her benefits after she played claims all those years, I don't know if she'd be the one on the phone with them. I'd probably be on the phone cussing them out, wouldn't you? Because what do I want from them, yeses or nos?
Yes.
See what I mean? Does that help any?
Yeah.
Sometimes, remember, we talk from our frame of reference and we hear from our frame of reference. So as we get on through the day, this afternoon and tomorrow, we're going to get more specific on how to do rebuttals. In fact, we're going to go through some specific rebuttals. But as a psychology, as just a mental process, I want to, remember we talked about the one frame and the following line of letters, cross out 6 letters? We want to just kind of reframe our minds so that we see the customer as more normal than abnormal. Think of it yourself. Before you got in the insurance industry, hardly anybody ever called you and said, hey, who you know I can buy health insurance with? The day after we get our license, we're sitting there asking people, who you know would be interested in health insurance? Like they're going to say, well, you know, it's funny you ask. 814 people have called me in the last 2 days. Let me give you their number. But there is a reason I bring that up. In fact, tomorrow we'll actually go through that. But the way you get referrals is if you attach a behavior to a request.
Who do you know that I can help save the money?
Not a person. Don't know anybody.
How about just giving me a list of your family members and friends, and I'll call them and.
I wouldn't feel comfortable giving my numbers out.
Do you have any friends or family that I could help?
I don't have any friends at all. You've
You
been
have a
with me for an
brother,
hour.
right?
Would you be my friend?
Yeah, but anyway.
How about this? How about this? Who do you know that just got married? Who do you know just bought a new car? Who do you know that just bought a new house? Who do you know that just moved? Who do you know that just started a new job? Who did you golf with? I see you're into racing. Remember you knock on the door? Remember that whole process? You get to the door, you ring the doorbell, you step back, you open the door, you make eye contact. Hi, my name's Lloyd Lofton, American Health Insurance Company. You recently asked for information about health insurance. May I come in? You use the behavior, wipe your feet. They let you come in. You make sure you don't slam the screen door because 20 years ago, if you'd done that, you would have woken up my baby daughter, who's now 21 years old. And what would my wife have done?
Throw you out.
Yeah, kicked you out of the house, yeah. Yeah. Then you sell off the wall. You find something of common interest. Hey, I see you're into racing. And how long do you talk about that common interest thing?
Still learn alcohol with you?
Till their side of the conversation winds down, right? Most salespeople do talk about it for how long?
1 second.
1 second, yeah, because what are you there to do? You want to talk about what?
Insurance.
The product, right? Which people have absolutely no interest in at all because their interest is in what?
Goes on the
Racing.
Yeah, the dominant buying motives. See how that works? So you talk about the common interest. I see you're into racing. I see you're into bowling. I see you collect the green dishes, right? Ladies, anybody know that green dish? Remember those old green dishes? You remember? You have to speak up. I'm old. I can't hear you.
Siesta-ware? I don't
Yeah, siesta-ware, yeah. Remember that? Have you ever seen your grandmother have the old green glasses? The old green dishes in the house? So you talk about whatever the common interest is until when?
They're ready.
Till their side of the conversation winds down. And then you make sure during this whole process, when does the close start?
From the beginning.
The very first contact. You make sure during this whole process your behavior is congruent with your words. So where do I want to get? I'm in the house. Where do I want to get? To the kitchen table, right? So I let my behavior be congruent with my words. When their side of the conversation winds down of the common interest, do you mind if we go to the kitchen table and I let my behavior be congruent with my words, right? I move with it.
So you're just kind of standing in the entranceway or wherever they walk to this whole time when you're talking about.
I like
the
what you
common
said.
interest?